So here's another thing concerning ICE that someone posted on the Reddit. Who's making money from Trump's immigration crackdown in Chicago? See where these ICE operations take place in Illinois and what corporations are profiting. So enforcing President Trump's strict immigration policy has been lucrative for some Chicago contractors. Since the Trump administration began tightening immigration policies, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have arrested an increasing number of undocumented immigrants and asylum seekers. That makes government contractors even more necessary than before to transport, guard, and detain immigrants, as well as to translate and inspect facilities, among other services. ICE contractors have pulled in billions of dollars over the years. Sludge analyzed all ICE contracts that were ongoing as of July 5th or ended that day. The data, over 6,000 transactions, included contracts with no listed end date. More than 20 contractors have ongoing contracts. So who is contracting with ICE? We can look. New Berlin. So this gives you all of the money that's going in here. And you know what this reminds me of? So this reminds me of the fracking industry a little bit. Because it's, incredibly corrupt and brutal. And something that we're better off without. But the way they do things with controversial practices, right? And that's putting it very gently, by the way. I just tied up and put a bow on the verbiage there. But when it comes to something like fracking or ICE, what they do is they get a lot of these contracting companies that are all, completely shady and doing horrific stuff. And they just make a bunch of them, and they all just kind of launder money all around. So that way, when something goes wrong, you have absolutely no clue who is to blame. That's what they do in the fracking industry. What they'll do in the fracking industry, they'll have all these third-party contractors, truck drivers, and this and that, and there's all these different companies involved. So when a spill happens, when an environmental disaster happens, you don't know who's at fault. And what's the first thing that the companies say, the oil and gas companies? It's not because of the process. It's because of these negligent workers that have since been fired. And then they hang one of the third-party agencies out to dry, probably the one with the least power. They're all corrupt. I'm not giving anyone a pass. But that's what they do. That's how they do things. This is the same thing. Whenever an ICE agent does something brutal, which happens all the time, they're going to point to some kind of contracting company. They're going to say, this isn't our main agency. This isn't our main. This is a bad apple from this third-party agency that we no longer work with. That's what they're going to say. It's set up this way, A, because it makes it easier to funnel more money into it so people don't realize quite the racket that it is, because there's all these different agencies making money. And B, when something does happen, when something terrible does happen, which terrible things happen every day, I should specify, when something terrible happens and we hear about it, it gets reported, they're going to be able to deflect blame very easily. This is a money laundering and PR stunt. ICE does it. The fracking industry does it. This is what shady industries do to survive. I'll go to the chat, see what you guys are saying about this. Exactly, Ron. That's the same reason they use military contractors abroad. So do you guys see what I'm saying, right? Like you see, I don't know, do you guys see what I'm saying? Like they get all these, I think you guys get it. I'm probably over-explaining it now. And it's like, it's not rocket science, but it's like they get all these third-party contractors involved. It's really all the same big umbrella. But this way, A, it's easier to kind of hide the bottom line, the racket that they're just going to try to throw at us. And then it makes it easier that when something does happen and gets reported, they can just deflect blame. They'll be like, oh, it was this guy, it was this guy, it was this guy. No, it was this contractor. It was this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now I over-explained it. What are you going to do?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.